Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I am going to read S5 5077 all about islands. Chapter 1. What is an island? An island is a piece of land with water all around it. There are many different types of island. Where are islands? Less than 30% of Earth's surface is land. There are 7 continents and thousands of islands. Some islands are in the middle of an ocean, and others are near the mainland. Many islands are so small that you can't see them on this map. How do islands form? Islands can form in a lot of different ways. Some islands formed a long time ago, about 20,000 years ago. Earth was very, very cold. Lots of water from the oceans froze into ice, and the sea level went down everywhere. Later, Earth became warmer and a lot of the ice melted, and the sea level went up. Places that were valleys and mountains 20,000 years ago became seas and islands. Sometimes lands can move away from the mainland to form an island. It takes thousands of years for islands to form in this way. Volcanoes under the ocean erupt and the lava can form volcanic islands. In 2009, new volcanic island formed in the Pacific Ocean near Tonga. Sometimes waves move the sand at the bottom of the ocean to form islands. In warm oceans, coral grows to form coral islands. Another way is when rivers carry rainwater with small pieces of soil, rocks, and plants. When the water in a river goes slowly, these things in the water fall to the bottom and they can build up and form islands in the river. The Mekong River in Asia has a lot of islands that are made in this way. Amazing species. The animals and plants on some islands grow in different ways from the species on the mainland. Some species live on only one island, nowhere else on Earth. Hispaniolan solenodons live on one island called Hispaniola in the Caribbean Sea. Solenodons are about 50 centimeters long. They have a long nose and they are the only mammal with poison in their teeth. They use their nose and teeth to hunt insects and other small animals. Hispaniolan solenodons lived at the time of the dinosaurs, 65 million years ago. Solenodons are now in danger because people are cutting down the forest where they live, and the dogs are hunting them too. If we don't protect them, the last solenodons will die and the species will become extinct. Chapter 2. Volcanic Islands. When volcanoes erupt, hot gases, ash, and lava fly into the air. When a volcano under the ocean erupts, the water cools the lava and it becomes rock. After lots of eruption, the lava can form a volcanic island. Active volcanic islands. There are thousands of volcanic islands and some have active volcanoes. Mount Fuji on Honshu Island in Japan is an active volcano, but it hasn't erupted for more than 300 years. The volcano on Stromboli Island in the Mediterranean Sea erupts about every 2 hours. Some of the Canary Islands in the Atlantic Ocean have black beach. This is because the lava from volcanoes forms a black rock when it cools. The wind and waves have changed the rock into sand. Hot rock. The underground rock on volcanic islands is often very hot. When underground water meets hot volcanic rock, the water boils. Some of the hot water evaporates into steam, and the steam pushes the hot water up into the air. When this happened, the hot water up into the air. When this happened, the hot water is called a geyser. Iceland is a volcanic island with a lot of geysers. Iceland is cold, but even in winter, there are the hot water pools where people can swim. Plants grow well in the warm ground near the geyser. Plants on volcanic islands. After volcanoes erupt on islands, the lava cools and forms rock. Birds sometimes drop plants and seeds onto the rock when they are flying over. Plants can grow because the rock contains minerals. When the plants die, they form soil, and the more plants grow. Plants grow very well in the fertile soil near extinct volcanoes on islands. After thousands of years, big forests can grow in fertile volcanic soil. Volcanic islands like Borneo, Sumatra, New Guinea, and Jeju have fertile soil and big forests. Rice and tropical fruit grow well on volcanic islands in hot countries like Indonesia and the Philippines. And the forests are full of incredible plants. The world's biggest flower is the Rafflesia anordi. It can't be 1 meter wide. It smells horrible. It grows in the forest on the island of Sumatra in Indonesia. There are very big trees on Sumatra, but every year people cut down more and more trees and take the wood. This is a problem because one day there will be no more big trees in the forest. Chapter 3, Tropical Islands. There are a lot of tropical islands near the equator in the Pacific Ocean, the Caribbean Sea, and the Indian Ocean. Tropical islands are warm, and many of them are made of coral. Coral Island. Coral looks like a colorful plant, but it's a very small animal. Most corals live in warm tropical seawater, and when they die, they produce hard skeletons. Corals grow in large groups, and millions of coral skeletons form underwater reefs. Waves push sand over a reef to form a coral island. Coral reef animals. More than 1,500 different species of fish and a lot of other animals live in coral reefs. Tropical fish are all the colors of the rainbow. Near coral reefs and islands, you can also find sea turtles and starfish. Box jellyfish live around the Great Barrier Reef. They come from the same animal family as coral, but they look very different. Their legs are about 3 meters long, but they don't have much color, so they are hard to see. Box jellyfish are some of the most poisonous animals on Earth. You should never touch them. Great Barrier Reef is near Australia. It's about 2,500 kilometers long. It has about 29 reefs and more than 600 coral islands. So big that astronauts can see it from space. Pacific Islands. There are about 30,000 islands in the Pacific Ocean. The coconut crab lives on a lot of Pacific islands. It's one of the biggest land crabs on Earth. And it's very strong. It can operate a coconut with its legs. Bamboo plants grow tall and strong on many Pacific islands. People make houses from bamboo. Many people also eat young bamboo plants. Mauritius. The dodo only lived on the island of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean. Birds usually fly away from danger. But thousands of years ago, there weren't any other animals on Mauritius that hunted the dodo. The dodo didn't need to escape by flying, so it flew less and less every year. When Europeans came in 1507, the dodo wasn't scared and it couldn't fly. The Europeans' dogs, rats, and cats ate all the dodos. The last dodo died by about 1700, and the dodo became extinct. Chapter 4, Amazing Island Species. Some islands have amazing species of animals and plants that don't live anywhere else. Most wild animals are scared of people, but some animals on islands aren't scared of anything. Do you know why? Komodo Island. The Komodo dragon is the largest lizard on Earth. It's about 3 meters long. It has a strong legs and a long tail. It only lives on Komodo Island and on 3 other small islands in Indonesia. The Komodo dragon can run and swim fast. It has a sharp teeth and has poison in its mouth. It eats deer and buffalo. It even eats other Komodo dragons. Young Komodo dragons have to live in trees so that the adults can eat them. New Guinea. New Guinea is a big island in the Pacific Ocean near Australia. The forests on this island are very wild, and there are places the people have never visited. Scientists keep discovering amazing new species here. There's a kangaroo that lives in trees and a giant woolly rat. The woolly rat is as big as a cat and it's the biggest rat on earth. Most wild animals run away from people, but the woolly rat and the tree kangaroo aren't scared. This is because they have never seen people before. They don't know that people hunt some animals. The Galapagos Islands. The Galapagos Islands are in the Pacific Ocean near Ecuador. The islands are famous for the Galapagos tortoise. There are important differences between the tortoises on the different Galapagos islands. Some of the islands are dry and some are rainy. The tortoises on the dry islands have a long neck. This helps them to eat the leaves of trees. Tortoises on the rainy islands have a short neck because they eat grass and other plants on the ground. These differences help scientists to understand how animals have grown differently in different places. Madagascar. There are about 10,000 species of plant on Madagascar, a big island in the Indian Ocean. Most of the plants don't live anywhere else. Madagascar baobab trees are huge. They can grow 30 meters tall. They can live for 1,000 years. Sometimes it doesn't rain for months, but the baobabs can live because they are full of water. Chapter 5. Remote Islands. It can be hard to live on islands that are very far from the mainland. On some remote islands, life hasn't changed for thousands of years. Anuta is a very remote island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. About 250 people live on Anuta. They don't use money and they share everything. The weather is hot, so fruit like coconuts, papayas, and bananas grow well. But the island is tiny. Sometimes people can't grow enough food, so they sail to another island where they have a garden. Tristan da Cunha is one of the most remote islands on Earth. It's in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. The weather isn't cold, but the Atlantic winds are strong. There are a lot of ocean birds like albatrosses and penguins. About 300 people live on Tristan da Cunha. They share only 8 family names. They are the families of the people who came to the island in 1816. They speak English. Most people are farmers or fishermen. There isn't an airport, and ships only visit a few times every year. In the past, it was hard to communicate with the rest of the world. Now people have telephones and the internet. Easter Island. Easter Island is in the Pacific Ocean, 3,500 kilometers from Chile in South America. Once it had a big forest and a lot of birds. Then more than 1,000 years ago, people came to the island in canoe. They built farms and towns, and for hundreds of years, they cut down a lot of forest trees to make houses, boats, and firewood. About 200 years ago, they cut down the last tree. Without wood, they couldn't make fires or build houses. Life was hard. A lot of birds and animals died, and most of the people left Easter Island. The end.